Welcome, always Daniel Levy, and joining me now is UFC flyweight Cody Durden. Cody, welcome back to Half the Battle.
What's going on, man? Glad to be here.
How was your 4th of July weekend?
It was good. Spent time with the family. Rode jet skis, went tubing, just had a good old time.
Oh yeah, where you go tubing at?
I went to Lake Sinclair and then I went to Lake Jackson here in Georgia. So
Okay, sounds like a good time.
yeah, a lot of fireworks and a lot of good people.
So speaking of fireworks, I mean, this last fight you had with JP Buys, this fight was all or nothing, Cody. I mean, it was either you or him. What kind of relief did you feel getting that win?
It was great, man. It was everything I envisioned. I made a lot of sacrifices this training camp. Staying in the hotel next to American Top Team for 6 weeks, and yeah, man, just putting in work every day. Even when I'm tired, even when I didn't feel like going. Uh, the coaches held me accountable, and my teammates held me accountable, and yeah, I knew it was all or nothing, and I came out and I put on the performance I knew I was capable of.
Do you feel like now you've established yourself as someone that's going to stick around in the UFC?
Absolutely, absolutely. The next fight is always the most important fight, though. So we just got to keep grinding. Enjoy the win a little bit. I've put in a lot of work this year, 2 fights, and two hard training camps, and I'm just letting my body heal a little bit right now, and get right back to it.
So JP Buys got dropped 4 times by Montel Jackson and managed to survive. Did you think you'd handle him as sweat free as you did?
I didn't, but man, for some reason, I just kept talking to my right hand. I just the whole week I said, "Come on, baby, I know you can do it," And I just had a feeling because I had such a good training camp and I saw improvement in myself. And when you get to this level, it's hard to improve. And when you actually start seeing a lot of improvements, then you're leveling up. And I just envisioned it so much. Me dropping them and finishing them, and it came into fruition.
So going into the fight, JP had a lot of public drama going on, man. A lot of us felt bad for him, myself included. You're a married man. How were you able to separate that and just focus on yourself?
I felt remorse for him as well, but at the end of the day, it was him or me, and I knew I had to, make a statement this fight, and I just saw a lot of holes in his game. With my striking, a lot of people they don't know that I can strike, and it's coming together. As long as you work hard and believe in yourself and be obsessed, good things will happen. And I felt like I turned my career around.
When you got the win, you screamed, "I belong here. I fucking belong." Was that the best moment of your career?
To this moment, yeah, yeah. One of the best moments was getting in the UFC, and I always told myself I wanted to win, and after I won, I told myself I wanted to finish, and I wanted that 50K, and I was so disappointed I didn't get that $50,000 bonus because, uh, man, I had the performance of the night. Watch the whole card. I had the performance of the night. Get in, get out, and in as a spectacular fashion as you can, and not get hit. And that's exactly what I did, and I didn't get the bonus. So it just pisses me off, and it makes me want to work harder and accomplish that goal that I wrote down.
I mean, on the regional scene, you were known for your first round finishes. It took you until your 5th UFC fight to finally get a first round finish. Do you consider that part of paying your dues?
Absolutely. I'm getting settled in. Uh, that last fight, I really felt like I was settled in, and I was just willing to die for it in that fight. And I told myself, no matter what happens, I'm not tapping. So, uh, yeah, just being relentless and vicious, and uh, that's what leads to being victorious for me. and that's the way I'm going to fight from now on.
I mean, obviously you're disappointed you didn't get the bonus, but I mean, you keep having performances like that, and I got no doubt in my mind the bonuses are going to rack up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did you watch the fight card that night?
I did, and what sucked about it was that the week before, every single finish got a bonus, and then the week after, more than two people got performance bonuses. So they obviously pick and choose, and they have every right to do so. It's their company, but it would have obviously been nice to see someone paying their dues get rewarded for their hard work. But at the same time, you come out there the next fight, you never know what's going to happen if you get another finish.
So get this: I signed a contract to fight JP Vaz on June 18th in Austin. I think it was Dallas, Texas, and I signed the contract. And the next day, Mick Maynard said, "Hey, we need to move it to June 25th." And I said, "Okay, whatever." And so watching all those bonuses go out that night, knowing that I would have got a bonus, it's sour, it's sour. But Dan White messaged me, said he's going to take care of me, and I won't be disappointed. So I'm happy about that.
Well, that's good. Hey, there's a silver lining there somewhere, right? I mean, you got the boss's attention. He went out of his way to send you a message. He didn't have to do that. So that's actually a good news. That's really good to hear.
Yeah, it still hadn't came in yet, but it'll come. He's a man of his word. I guarantee that.
Oh yeah, 100%. So your fight right before JP Baz, you took on the undefeated phenom Muhammad Makayev in London, and a lot of people close to you advised you not to take that fight. You took it anyways. Is that just credit to the kind of man you are that you'll fight anyone, anytime, any place?
Yeah, man. I want to push myself. I'm at that time in my career where I want to be the best, and I want to fight for the belt one day. I'm not vocal about that, but those are the steps that I have to take if I'm willing to get to that belt. And yeah, man, I just got caught that fight, and Makayev's a great fighter. He's going to do very well in the UFC, and yeah, man, it's all about your last fight, and my last fight was spectacular. So it's about the next fight now.
I mean, there's a famous saying about this sport that it's about the highest highs and the lowest lows. Were you questioning things at all after the loss?
Absolutely, but I knew I was doing the right thing. Staying consistent, working hard, making the sacrifices, and continuing to grow. And I felt like I was doing all the right things. Granted, I didn't get the results I wanted that fight. I I still grew personally and grew in the sport on the mat every day. Putting in the time.
What kind of message would you send not just to other fighters, but to people going through tough times about picking yourself back up when things get tough?
You just got to keep pushing forward. This life has ups and downs, and no matter what happens, you just got to keep moving forward. I've had a lot of mistakes in my life, a lot of personal growth, but a lot of failed attempts as well. But no matter what, you just have to keep going.
So when we hung out in Florida, you told me I've starched a lot of people. It was finally my time to get starched. That was actually pretty mature in my opinion. Do you still view it like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've got 9 first round finishes, and I have starched a lot of good guys. And Gutierrez was close to getting starched that first round, but he survived on 6-day notice. And right now, I'm 3-2 in the UFC. The UFC says I'm 2-2-1, but 6-day notice against Chris Gutierrez is getting a draw as a win in my book. So I'll take it.
So you and Muhammad ran into each other at ATT a few months later, and he posted a very nice tweet. Seemed like the beef had been squashed. Did y'all get to do any training together?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we trained. We didn't do any sparring, but we did a lot of wrestling. And he's a great fighter. He's going to do great. And he just pushed me to work harder.
What do you think the ceiling is on a kid like that?
21 years old. being able to do what he does right now with no responsibilities, and it's limitless.
So your fight before Makayev, you fought the Mongolian murderer Irichi Lang, and it was your first UFC win. It was a gritty, hard fought decision, and we'll talk about the post fight speech in a sec. But how important was it for you to have that experience where it's 1-1 going into the third round, and you have to dig deep to pull out the dub?
Yeah, man. I mean, I had COVID 5 weeks before that fight, and I really didn't want to pull out, but I still had the lingering issues in my lungs, and my nose was 90% clogged, and man, it was just bad training camp, and I still got in there, and I told myself in the third, I said he's going to give up before I do, and that's why I pushed the pace, but I've no I'm a night and day fighter, better fighter now than I was.
You 100% recovered from COVID, no lingering symptoms or anything?
Yes, I still can't smell the best as I did before, but I can still smell, but not as good. That's it.
And when was that fight? Was it back in like December or something? I don't remember off the top of my head. You said what now?
November.
November. Okay. So it hasn't quite been a full year. Hopefully it comes back. Yeah, because I know like when I had COVID, man, like it fucked me up for a couple months. It was no joke at all. So, but I'm glad you're good besides that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. I've actually had it twice. I had it in February as well, but February, it was a piece of cake compared to November. I was out of training for 3 weeks, and then I had to prepare for Aori. It was a mess, man. I was in the best shape of my life. Then I got COVID, and everything went downhill. And then I was out of training for 3 weeks, and then I was back in training, but I had no cardio, and then I had lingering issues in my chest. And I had been out of the UFC with a torn ACL for 10 months, not fighting, and I just felt like I love to fight. You know what I mean? Like, if you know me, I take fights. In 2019, I had 6 fights. I mean, yeah, 2019, 6 fights. 2024 fights. 2021, I didn't have but one fight, so I was pissed.
So you plan to stay super active like you have been in the past?
Absolutely, absolutely. Fighting's all I do, man. It's all I think about, and I'm trying to reach the top.
So the controversial post-fight speech. Let's talk about it. Now, I have my own opinion on it. I think you were trying to be a heel. I think you were talking shit, but I don't think for a second that you have hate in your heart. I personally think it was bad timing. A lot of Asians were going through a lot of unfathomable injustices at the time, and there was a hashtag called Stop Asian Hate going around back then. And coincidentally enough, your post-fight speech happened around that time. I personally think it was just a poor choice of words and bad timing. I don't think it's indicative of you having something against a group of people.
Nah, man. If you know me, and you know the gym I'm at, and the gym I go and train at American Top Team, Coconut Creek, it's all diverse, and they really know me. People know me and who I am and who I've been in the past. I don't judge people, but based on their skin color. I was in the moment. I said something that got took the wrong way. I just wanted to send them home with a loss, but I understand the way it came out. It could have been controversial, but yeah, that's what I meant, and that's what I said.
So I know you a bit better than most, and you know me. You know I'm a first generation American, son of immigrants. You've seen my friends, you've seen the women I date. You know I'm, let's just say, culturally diverse. And if I thought for a second that Cody Durden was racist or any of these other things you've been labeled as, I wouldn't give you the time of day. I'd tell you to go fuck yourself. But I genuinely think this was a misunderstanding, and you're not that guy.
Yeah, I don't think you think. I think you know who I am. I've known you before the UFC, and even when I was on the regional scene, and I mean that's just crazy. But mistakes happen. We learn from them. We grow, and we just move forward, and not everyone's perfect.
Yeah, but it's good that you've learned from it and you picked yourself back up, man. I mean, look at your last fight. That was the perfect example of how to pick yourself back up, how to handle things. And your demeanor was different going into that fight. Even in the stare down, you didn't do your traditional kind of Diaz brother type stare down. You actually kind of had your hands down, kind of Masvidaling it up. Was your demeanor just different going into it?
Yeah, I got smoked my last fight, and I just wanted to let my fighting do the talking, and that's what I did.
That's exactly what you did. Now that you got this dub out the way, you've established yourself as someone who's willing to fight anyone, anytime, any place. What do you want to do next?
Man, it doesn't matter to me. Like I said in the post fight interview, I don't pick my fights, and I just fight. Excuse me. I've had I've had 5 UFC fights now, and haven't turned down not one fight. Up a weight class, 6 day notice, 30-0 Makayev. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, dude. As long as I'm getting compensated for my worth, uh, I'll fight, and that's all there is to it. I'm here to make money and make my family comfortable, and that's what I'm gonna do. And if I get a belt along the way, then cool. If I don't, then I tried my best. But uh, you can bet when Cody Durden signs the dotted line, we're gonna have a hell of a fight, and people are gonna tune in to watch me either win or lose.
So the UFC flyweight division is the most exciting it's ever been, literally. Is it exciting for you being out here during these times, living your dream?
It is, and I just hope that I make it a little bit more exciting. Just a small piece of the puzzle. That's all. I try to I try to be as exciting and as an entertaining fighter as there is.
So now that you've been in the UFC a couple years, I mean, prior to that, your whole career was on the regional scene. What's like the difference been, in terms of like just the whole experience itself, man?
Man, it's just everything about it. It's just on a worldwide stage. People from all over the world. After you fight, win or lose, you get 1,000 hate messages, or you get 1,000 freaking oh, I love you, I'm a big fan. And you definitely keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So
So interesting way to put it.
yeah, exactly.
So how far do you think you are from scratching the rankings?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what McMaynard offers me for the next fight. I might have one or two, at least one this year, if not two. Just waiting on that call to say, hey, do you want to fight so and so this date? And you know me, I'm gonna say yeah. So that's what I'm waiting on.
Jeff Molina is a guy that you've been calling out for a while. What is it about that fight that intrigues you so much?
And he's easy, bro. Like, I think he's easy. That's it. You know, uh, he just he's won 3 in a row, but he's not even fought the as closest competition that I fought. Hands down. But Aori was kicking his ass. He gassed out. Aori came out and fought me at my worst, and he was even better fighter than he fought Molina, because he knew, he was bouncing around. He wasn't pushing, the gas to the pedal, and yeah, man, I just think I'll fuck him up. And if he wants to fight, then we'll fight. If not, I don't pick my fights. The UFC picks the fights. So if McMaynard has a different idea, let's do it.
For sure. So, Cody, you down to answer a couple fan questions before I get you out of here?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So before I do that, is it kind of interesting that, well, firstly, I was gonna say Jeff Molina kind of ignored you until your last win. Is it kind of interesting that now that now he wants that fight when he sees your success?
Uh, I mean, honestly, I'm not even worried about Molina. Like, I will fuck him up. I'm not even saying that to like I will fuck him up. He's I mean, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna out wrestle me? Is he gonna stop my takedowns? Is he gonna out cardio me? That's his best chance. But I mean, dude, I train with the best guys in the world, American top team, and Jeffrey Molina's called me so much shit. I'm a piece of shit. I'm a racist. I'm this. I'm that. Man, give me that fight. I promise you'll see another Cody that you haven't seen before because I will train my fucking ass off and I will fuck him up.
So, did you catch Iori's fight after yours, man? Did you see how he handled that dude?
Yeah, dude. Aori is so strong, uh, in the grappling department. He's not a big grappler, but dude, just positioning. I mean, he's a strong dude, and he's about 3 inches taller than me, and I knew he was after the first round, and I started losing my wind. I could tell that he was uh he was a strong guy.
How does that dude make 25s?
He don't no more.
Oh yeah,
He,
was his last fight at 35s?
yeah. His last fight was Cameron Ellis, and he TKO'd him in the second. I think it was second round. I was watching that fight, and yeah, he looked good. He looked good.
He destroyed that dude. It was impressive. But yeah, good point. I forgot that he moved up. Yeah, I'm not surprised though. I mean, that dude was massive.
Yeah. He was definitely cutting a lot more weight than he should have been.
So let's get to these fan questions. So MMA locker room said, Cody, is the JP buys fight the first time that you bet on yourself? I seen the ticket.
I didn't bet on myself. I posted a ticket, and it was a ticket that a fan sent me, and I just put the knuckles to it, and everybody thought I bet on myself, but betting on yourself is illegal.
No, betting against yourself is illegal. Betting on yourself is not
Oh,
illegal.
see, you learn something every day because I have ESPN reporters and all kind of crazy shit messaging me saying betting on yourself is illegal. I don't know what the rule is. I didn't
No.
myself though, so I was in the fighters hotel the whole week, so I couldn't have got out to bet on myself.
Yeah, I mean, it would only be illegal if you bet against yourself because then it would kind of be like fixing a fight or throwing a fight. But betting on yourself is completely fine. So whoever told you that is completely full of shit.
Yeah. I'll send you the message after this.
Okay, sounds good. All right. AY says, what part of your game do you feel like you can improve the most?
Definitely my jiu-jitsu. I've uh, I've had 3 fights where I've had I've been in the situation whether to finish the guy or I got finished and it was on the ground. Uh, Part of me says that's my best attribute is my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu, but you got to look at how you lost. So there's been 2 fights in the UFC I've lost via submissions. So uh, I focus on my jiu-jitsu a lot.
So, I mean, you're a former state champion wrestler. Is it just a matter of, I mean, are you putting on the gi more? Are you training more no gi? Like, what's the deal in
No,
terms of improving that aspect?
if I was fighting in the gi, I would put the gi on. But I mean, it's not the 1990s. I don't fight in a gi, and everything in the gi is totally different than no gi. And the wrestling is a totally different sport than jiu-jitsu, and you got to find that even balance, like Charles Oliveira or Islam Makhachev.
So, Sarah wants to know, what did you mean when you said I belong here?
Man, my back was against the wall, and I knew it was either JP or myself, and I just know that I belong in the UFC, and I haven't been able to perform how I really feel I can perform until that night.
Now, let me ask you, just building off what you said, is it been a mental thing? Has it just been kind of trying to pay your dues? Like, what do you think's been the deal?
Just a bunch of controversy in the fight camps. Tearing my ACL in the Jimmy Flick fight, getting caught in the flying triangle. I've never gotten kneed in the jaw. I got kneed in the jaw. I got caught in the first round. I mean, COVID, coming back from ACL surgery. I mean, it's just, I've been through a lot. And now I finally feel that I've hit that second gear and that we're improving again.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of guys, they get released, they don't get re-signed after their first contract. So to still be here on, your second or third, whatever the case is, I mean, it's got to build your confidence.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So JSJ23 said Mokaev gave you props on the Dan Lambert podcast. What is it like training with him?
Oh, man, he's a solid guy. And I got to know him really well. I wish him nothing but the best. I could feel that he put our fight in the past and I put my fight in the past with him. And we just focus on our next fights. We cross paths, but I really felt like him and I both, we talked it out and we just fed off each other and wanted to improve off each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes when you meet someone in person, it's completely different. You might see some things on TV, you might see some things on the internet, but when you actually get to meet someone face to face, you can see what kind of person they are.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're not competing against them,
Yeah, for sure. So he also asked, who do you think has the best MMA wrestling right now at 125?
Oh, man, what's that? I think it's David Dvorak.
Yeah, from Czech Republic.
Is that the guy with the earpiece?
Yeah, he just lost to Nicolau.
Yeah. Man, I think his wrestling's real solid.
Interesting. I didn't think he was going to be the answer you gave.
Who are you thinking?
Let me pull up the rankings. That's actually a really good question, in my opinion. So let's see who we got at 25s. That's actually a wrestler. There's the Russian Askar Askarov. He's
Yeah. I think that's who I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, no, he's the one with the earpiece. Yeah, Askar Askarov.
Yeah. He's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. He also lost a fight recently. I don't remember to who. It was like a close decision. Do you remember who it was to?
I can't recall off the top of my head. Was it Kai France?
Oh yeah, that's right. Kai France. Good memory. Good memory. Yeah, I mean, dude, is it exciting? Like, I know I asked you this already, but looking at the top 15 right now, I mean, flyweight, it's never been this stacked, man. Because I remember when Demetrius Johnson was the champ, the guys he was fighting against, I mean, there were some studs, don't get me wrong. I mean, Henry Cejudo's a stud, but there were also a bunch of filler fights. There were the Chris Carriasos, there, this and that. Whereas there's not a single filler fight in the top 15 right now at flyweight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's exciting for sure. I just got to keep my head down, keep grinding, and take it one fight at a time.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's probably the right way to go. So AY said, who is your number one pound for pound UFC fighter right now?
You're probably not going to like this answer.
All right, let's hear it.
I love Kamaru Usman, but I think Volkanovski is the pound king right now.
Why am I not going to like that answer?
I mean, everybody keeps saying Kamaru Usman, but dude, look what Volk's doing. He's active. He's in the ring like every 3 months, and man, he's just so fast and so explosive. And I mean, there's no give up in him, dude. He inspires me. When I saw him in that guillotine and he didn't tap and he got out of it and came back and won the fight, dude, that's inspiring,
Yeah. One thing I've always said about Volk, I mean, obviously what you talked about, the heart of a champion, but dude, his feinting game is so elite. He's got these guys mesmerized when he's out there. It's crazy because, like, Max Holloway is almost 6 feet tall. Volkanovski's like 5'6", and Volkanovski's fighting like the longer guy out there. It's
exactly.
pretty.
landing his jab, and I'm like, geez, what is going on? Because that hardly ever happens, and that right there, that's why I think he's a pound for pound.
How do you think he'd do at 55s?
I think he'd do well. I think he would do well. I mean, like he doesn't. You would think that he doesn't have the body stature for fighting, but the way he lands that jab and his speed is just it counteracts all of that. So I think he would do very well at 55. And the thing about it is we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out by the end of the year, because he's going up. He already said it.
Yeah, I'm curious if him surviving that guillotine and that triangle against T City is at all like indicative of him surviving similar spots against Charles Oliveira, or if Charles Oliveira's MMA jiu-jitsu is better than Ortega's. Like, I'm curious to see that stylistic matchup.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Charles Oliveira has holes in his game. I mean, he's been dropped the last three fights. You can only take so many of those shots, before you can't come back from those.
Yeah, for sure.
And we see right now we see Volkanovski as he's unstoppable. Even though Max Holloway knocked him, well, I think he knocked him down twice in three fights, but I mean, it wasn't like crazy knockdowns where he was out of it.
Yeah, he recovered pretty damn quick. He's something else, man. Like, if you're gonna study someone, he's a guy to study, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Because like Izzy is amazing too, but like Izzy's got gifts. Like Izzy's 6'4", he's got the near 80-inch reach. He's athletically gifted, so he can get away with stuff that other people can't get away with. Not to discredit him, he's an amazing fighter, of course. But Volkanovski he has to work harder. You know what I'm saying? He has to be smarter than everybody else because he doesn't have those same gifts that someone like Israel Adesanya has.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, his cardio, the stamina, the head movement. I mean, I think he's a pound for pound right now.
Yeah, and evidence to that is him staying active, like you said, and also wanting to move up to 55s. You don't see a lot of the champions. It's been a while since we've seen someone test their luck up a weight class, and
Yeah,
that is what pound for pound means.
exactly.
I'd be curious to see him against Islam Makhachev. One thing I've been talking about on the show for a while now is these guys that can attempt takedown after takedown after takedown and not get discouraged if the first few get stuffed. Those guys are matchup problems, like the Bryce Mitchells, like dudes that can just wrestle relentlessly. And you might stuff the first three or four, but you're not going to stuff the fifth, sixth, and seventh. Like, that's a style that gives a lot of people issues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You told me that too. I remember when you told me that, and it made me think. Like, yeah, you're right. You know.
I actually saw you post a picture of you and Bryce in the training room. Did you all get to do any work together?
No, no. I just like I said, I trained alongside him. I watched him and man, I can't even pronounce his name. Aljamain Sterling's best guy, Bashar.
Marab.
Yeah, Marab. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched them train together, and I was just hitting pads right next to him. Asked Bryce if I can get a picture with him, and then I ran into him a few more times, and we talked about deer hunting, fishing, and real true outdoors, and all kind of stuff. So it was good meeting him.
Did you get to see any nice scrambles between Bryce Mitchell and Marab?
Oh yeah, a lot.
That's awesome. I bet they were going at it.
Yeah, yeah, they were for sure. They did a lot of rounds, especially when I'm cutting weight. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. So another fan question, AY wants to know, how do you feel about the current title picture at 25s, and are you committed to 125, or is 135 a real option for you?
No, no, I'm committed to 125. I've always made weight. Five fights in the UFC. I fought four of them at 125 and never miss weight. I don't have a problem with that. And the current title picture is, man, I think Pantoja is the best flyweight out there right now. He's got two wins over, I think two or three wins over Moreno. And I don't know what Figgy's doing, but I saw a video of him the other day, and he looks about 160 pounds, so 125 anymore.
Yeah, how that guy makes weight. I mean, he's probably got to make a ton of sacrifices to make the weight.
Oh man, I mean he's killing himself. He's really killing himself.
So a couple more fan questions and I'll get you out of here. So James D says, Cody, how hard is it to take hits in the UFC? Can you compare it to something? I don't know how y'all do it.
I mean, it's kind of a weird question. I mean, because I got kneed in the chin by somebody running at me, and I landed on my hand and my butt, and I popped right back up. So for me, it's hasn't been that hard, because I have a really good chin. But for other people, getting hit by 55ers and one welterweights, man, I couldn't imagine, you know. But when you get hit by 125ers, I mean, it's not as bad as getting hit by Francis Ngannou and he uppercutting you from hell. You know what I mean? Remember that knockout?
Oh, of course. But I mean, I know, you're kind of being humble about it, but dude, like you were in there with Chris Gutierrez for 3 rounds. He's a guy that's fought at featherweight. You felt what those kicks are like. So you got a little perspective on this.
Oh, okay. So when you talk about, I mean, he said hits, not kicks. Kicks are different. Chris Gutierrez was the hardest kicker I ever faced. I think I took 47 leg kicks. I counted on the UFC app or the UFC.com. And man, when I got to the locker room, I had a little man growing on my leg. It was a little hematoma. And yeah, it didn't hurt then. I mean, yeah, it did hurt then. But when I got to the locker room, it really hurt. So, I mean, just depends on, where you get hit, really.
And I think that leads to this question, which was, what does a Douglas Lima leg kick feel like?
Well, I've never taken one without a shin guard on. But one time he kicked me, it went viral. I had the pad. Do you remember that? I had the pad on my leg, and he made me do a freaking backflip just about. So he's definitely a hard kicker.
For sure. So Marcus wants to know, how has your experiences with USADA been so far? Have they asked to test you at weird times?
Absolutely, absolutely. They might be here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I mean, you just never know. You know what I mean? They've showed up at 6 a.m. and they showed up at 10 o'clock at night when I'm laying in bed and going to bed. So it's weird. They showed up at my gym. I mean, they showed up everywhere. But yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for them though. For a clean sport, and I think I've had around 20 tests so far.
Did you hear the story about them waking up Volkanovski at like 3 a.m. on the day of his fight?
Yeah, he said they woke him up at like 4 hours before his regular sleep time. So they probably woke him up at about 6 a.m., 6:30 in the morning, and he wasn't waking up till about 10 or 12 because he fights so late. But yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. They woke me up at 9 a.m. on fight day before, but I'm an early bird, so I didn't really complain.
Which fight was that for?
The Gutierrez fight.
Okay, just trying to see if, on a week notice, you're trying to gain any unfair advantage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I took that fight on 2 week notice, and I wasn't even in the USADA program. I had to enroll within like 3 days of me getting there, and then boom, they show up Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
So AY is asking about Trayshawn Gore. Do you train with him? The answer is yes. But what do you think about his fight this weekend with Brundage?
Man, I think he's ready. He's been putting in the work. He's confident, and yeah, he just gotta believe in himself. And he tells me, I talk to him all the time. He tells me he's ready. He tells me that he's gonna fuck this dude up, and I'm just ready to see him put on a great performance.
Yeah, he's a very talented guy, and he's one of those guys that, like, it seemed like he got to the UFC a little bit soon. You don't often see guys with 3-0 records get signed, but I called his regional fights, and he always stood out as someone special, someone athletically gifted. But not just someone that's relying on their talent, right? Someone that also puts in the work and has the skill and has a good mindset.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, he loves training, that's for sure. And we'll see what he can do this weekend. I hope he wins.
For sure, for sure. All right, so last call to the fans for questions here. So Grayson says, is there any upcoming Georgia talent we should know about?
Yeah, my boy Christian Turner, he actually lives with me, and he's a stud. He's 2-0, 20 years old. I think he was 4-5-0 as amateur. Now he's 2-0 pro. But yeah, I mean, he just his sacrifices and his hard work and the coaching that he has behind him is definitely gonna catapult him to the big show.
And lastly, Sarah said, is it hard to train in Coconut Creek with other UFC fighters?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, you got the best guys in the world, and you're pushing yourself every day, and the resistance is, you know, one mistake and you get caught, and that's the same thing that happens when you fight with the highest level fighters in the world, and so you got to be on top of your game every day.
I know the grappling is 100%, but like, what's the striking, sparring like over there? Are you all like trying to knock each other out?
It's 110%, bro. You know the striking and the grappling is going to be great, but dude, you get in there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays big gloves, Thursdays little gloves, and nobody's talking. All right, what's up, Cody? Just like that. They're not saying nothing. I mean, they come to fight. You know what I mean? And then I had to get that moment, that memo down. You know what I mean? Hey, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, these guys ain't your friends. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. I saw a lot of real fights there. But the coaches jump in, intervene, and then after it's all said and done, you shake hands, you know, and make up. But yeah, it ain't no joke.
Damn. So no one's worried about like leaving their chin in the gym?
I mean, most of the guys got headgear on, really. You know, the coaches are going around putting Vaseline on your head, and if things get too crazy, you know, you have 3 or 4 coaches, you know, overseeing the mats at all times, so they stop it before it gets, you know, that bad. But yeah, it's serious. People, guys there are the best fighters in the world, and they want to win. They want to win every round.
Well, Cody, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me right here, right now on Half the Battle. The fans can follow you at Cody_Durden. It's been awesome to see your progression, man. Really happy for you. Any message for the fans before we get out of here?
You know, thank you. Tune into the next fight, and shout out to all my sponsors for supporting me this last fight camp, and let's keep it going.
Absolutely. So all the fans, make sure you'll follow me on Twitter at BestFightPicks. Subscribe to Half the Battle everywhere podcasts are found. I'll be back on Thursday to break down the Fiziev versus RDA card. And until the next time, let's cash these bets.
Let's go. Hey.